People, welcome once again. We're back at it. Yes, right. Yo, listen, I'm trying to think of a different wrestler to do and stuff like that because I always do Hulk Hogan. Like that's mad old school, right? But I'm trying to think of like what Stone Cold. Stone Cold is. Well, if you're ready for the Straight to the Ropes podcast, give me a hell yeah, hell yeah. Remember how exciting that shit used to be, bro? Or listen. This is what's crazy. Like, remember the Road Warriors? Yo, the Road Warriors, they just scare me when I was a kid. I was like, damn, they have to beat my ass. They're mad at something. But people, what's good? What's going on? It's your boy Brian B. We back at it. It's another episode of Straight Through the Ropes Wrestle Talk. Yo, listen, we had to do an episode. Yo, have you guys been watching the news? You probably seen it on the news. There's been so much going on with WWE right now. I don't know what the hell's going on, but we're gonna talk about it. That's the best part about Wrestling Talk. Because you know what? I gotta get this thing going so I can press it through. But this is what we're doing today. This is where it is. And there ain't no sound in that. Let's try this. Doing big things. That's right. Straight through the roast, Wrestle Talk. And I got a very special guest with me today. We got somebody from the Monster Factory, bro. Yo, do y'all know what the Monster Factory is? Mr. Derek T. Lewis, please give them a little history lesson on exactly what you do, where you're from, and how your position in wrestling is very important.
Absolutely. Again, I'm Derek T. Lewis. I've been now in the pro wrestling business for about 4.5 years. I'm a ring announcer
Yes.
for the world famous Monster Factory, ECWA, and as of a few months ago, also with the SWF. So
okay.
definitely spreading my wings in regards to getting around in the business and everything. But pretty much the history of the Monster Factory. The Monster Factory is a wrestling school that started in the very early 1980s with the late Pretty Boy Larry Sharp and Nature Boy Buddy Rogers, and notable students, Bam Bam Bigelow, The Big Show. I mean, the list: King Kong Bundy, The Godfather, Virgil. I mean, and then and obviously wrestlers today that are in WWE. Sheamus is a Monster Factory alum. Matt Riddle's a Monster Factory alum. Damian Priest of the Judgment Day is also a Monster Factory alum. And AEW. Cody Vance, who was once Dark Order member number 10, he was a Monster Factory alum. QT Marshall, former MFPW heavyweight champion. Nick Komoroto, another former MFPW heavyweight champion. Cody Vance was also an MFPW heavyweight champion. And of course, in Impact Wrestling, Steve Macklin was a former Monster Factory alum as well. So we have Factory 30. I would put you this way: there's been 38 WrestleManias, 37 out of 38 WrestleManias, there's been at least one Monster Factory alum on the show.
Woo!
That is actual facts.
Do you see how this guy just sits there just off the top of his dome? It's like not like we prepared for this. We didn't rehearse this. He just came out knowing I thought I was a wrestling fan. Mr. Derek T. Lewis over here. This guy knows wrestling, yo. So we got Mr. Derek T. Lewis. Yo, we already talked. We're trying to do more. I can't figure out what my look is today. I just got off of work. I'm trying to get chilled out. I got a lot to talk about today, but we talking about it. Like we trying to do this wrestling panel thing. So if you guys are fans, you know what I'm saying, please leave your comments, talk about it. We're definitely going to be talking a lot about, stuff coming up this year. We at the beginning of the year, Royal Rumble season, WrestleMania season, so much going on. But Derek, I had to hit you up, man, because I really wasn't even going to even do an episode, honestly, this week. I was going to wait till next week, but so much has went down today, man, recently with all the events that occurred last night and throughout the day. I haven't really kept up. So, as everybody's heard, WWE is kind of in this weird kind of state right now where, let's start from the beginning. So the beginning, everything started out with, Vince McMahon was like 6 months ago at this point.
No, we're talking about maybe June.
So even further. Yes.
I'll go back further than that. So around, I would say May or June, Stephanie McMahon initially had taken a leave of absence.
Yes.
I think it was
I remember
April.
that.
I think April she had to take a leave of absence.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you heard rumblings about the Wall Street Journal coming out regarding the allegations of, affairs and obviously using company funds to pay off women, whatever, with not NDAs, et cetera, and obviously when you're a publicly traded company, that's not a good thing because because what they're also counting on the books wasn't necessarily on the books because there was money that was taken from to pay and allocate money to whoever it was that that he had paid off.
Yeah,
And
man, and
obviously,
that's a
that
lot of that's a lot of convoluted stuff or whatever. You got too much going on, and you want to know something. When I heard these stories and everything, like people are quick. I guess we're just adjusted to it in the world at this point because people were like, "Oh yeah, I knew that was how I knew that was going to eventually I was going to come out." Like I think everybody at this point is kind of expecting like these people of power that's been in power for so long, like Vince McMahon and all these other people that's been caught up in some crap over the years now. Um, I mean, you're not disappointing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to stereotype, but honestly, like these guys are, I guess they've had money. You have the opportunity to take advantage of your situation, and they definitely don't disappoint. WWE is a place where sports entertainment, beautiful, women, and stuff like that or whatever. You've even heard story about like guys and stuff like that as well back in the Pat Patterson stuff and the Ring Boy, and it's been a lot of crazy shit or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always going to be some kind of drama. But this situation with Vince McMahon, everything coming out and everything, like it was big news. Like you said, they're a publicly traded company. They're not back in the day WF just in the territories and stuff like that. Like this is
no,
a giant corporation at this point.
right,
So it's difficult to get this news being a fan and stuff like that for so long and everything.
sure,
But when Vince, did take his exit after all of this happened, a lot of people were like, yeah, okay, whatever. But even me, I'll be honest with you, I was more on the level of like, Vince McMahon is leaving. Like, thank you, Vince. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though he did some stuff, like I don't know what it is. I wasn't there, whatever. Only thing I know is that I watched Vince McMahon, he was responsible for all the love that I have for this, sport for all my life, basically.
right.
So that's all I really thought of. I didn't really think of the other stuff. Like, oh, you got some shit going just like everybody else. All right, but
Mhm.
thank you, Vince. Like, I'm happy you're retiring, whatever. But now it's like seeing the events that are unfolding. My brain is like different now because. But we're gonna talk about it. Let's jump. How did you feel when you heard everything that happened with Vince McMahon?
I mean, I wasn't shocked. I mean, I'm gonna be perfectly
It's
honest with
crazy,
you.
right?
It
I
was,
wasn't shocked either. Like,
I mean, you got to remember, I'm old enough to remember when the steroid scandal went down. Now,
oh
mind
yeah,
you, it all came out like in 1991 in regards to the rumor of the rumor and innuendo about he was helping distributing steroids to wrestlers, etc., etc.
yeah,
And then they end up going to trial in '94, and he ultimately beat them in court. You can check out the Dark Side of the Ring episode, and they have his attorney Jerry McDivitt on there giving the blow by blow of the whole entire case, and how basically he knew that he had it in the bag because it was so many different technicalities
yeah,
involved. It was so many holes in the case that I think they wanted to go after Vince just to make an example out of him, but Vince didn't do anything wrong, you
yeah,
know. So it was just so many he's been through the trenches. He's
yeah.
won court.
He
He's
knows
won a
what
lot
he's
of
doing.
yeah,
He knows
but
what he's doing, bro.
but at the same time, when I first heard the news about all that stuff that was going on with with women or whatever, I mean, heck, he talked about his extramarital affairs in Playboy one time. So I mean, again, I'm not surprised.
Damn, I
But
never heard that before.
yeah, but at the same time, when you're a publicly traded company, and then on top of that, all the amount of wrestlers that were fired since 2020. Think about that for a second.
That right there, yeah,
And
that's another big thing right there,
right,
man.
and that was huge. And I mean, I'm
Yeah,
not taking sides or anything. I'm just calling it, as it is. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, for real.
So
I mean, that was one of the things that I think, and it was interesting because we know like the kind of events that unfolded after like, Vince stepped down and stuff like that, how, whether you call it Triple H, whether you call it, I mean, you don't really know who did it, but you see the people who are supposed to be in position, but all these call ups that they, called people back, brought people back and said all this, because like you just said, man, knowing that this is the amount of money that they were distributing, they were always saying, "Oh, this is because of budget cuts. This is because of this. It's because of that, or whatever." You always have speculation. We're still speculating because we don't know the fucking real
sure.
story. But at the same time, it's just seeing this information and then knowing that all that happened. I mean, like big names too at points. It wasn't even like it was people who were bringing in merch. It was people who were doing different stuff like Bray Wyatt, even Rusev and stuff like that. When he got let go, like he was making noise, man. He wasn't like a background player. He was on like
I mean,
the
the
shows every week.
Braun Strowman firing. Well, I was just like, wait a minute, he is prototypical Vince guy,
It's
body
crazy, bro.
guy, big, jacked up. I was
Yeah.
very surprised at that. I'm like, wait a minute, they let him go?
Yeah. They were
I was,
dropping like flies.
yeah,
Yeah, there was so
it
many people that they were just dropping
it
off. And
was it
it's
was
interesting, man.
demoralizing because there was one time I was actually in the parking lot at the gym and I got the news about all those firings. Like I ended up going home because I'm just like I felt so bad. 'Cause I'm just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
these are in their livelihoods and everything, and I'm so close
Yeah.
attached to the business. But
That's right. Yeah, you know the people that are coming out of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I can imagine, bro. It is devastating because it's like it's so, and it's also just a passion. You know what I'm saying? Like you watch these guys, and it would be like you watching a TV show, and then one of your favorite characters die off or leave the show.
right,
It's like
right,
damn, I
right.
was watching it for that. But knowing that all this stuff happened, you know what I mean, and we actually saw like a different that was like the other side of it. We saw a different kind of WWE that we haven't had the chance to see in a long time, or maybe ever. That didn't involve Vince McMahon, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, pretty much everybody. Maybe it was just because it was a change, but everybody was enjoying it. I mean, Triple H's direction, however you want to call it, whoever was running it, everybody was. I thought the stories were seemed fresh. It seemed like the ideas were fresh. It seemed like the characters, I'm calling them characters, but the wrestlers, they were like, way more like easygoing. Like it seemed like they were speaking better. Like everything seemed like it was flowing so much easier. And you even heard like Michael Cole, like he was like
Well,
celebrating
I mean, heck, commentary has gotten a heck of a lot better. The fact
a
that
lot.
they're using phraseology like wrestling and they're
Yeah.
acknowledging other companies. They're acknowledging, I mean, literally, like the fact that Michael Cole was running down the history of the Bullet Club on Crown Jewel, and I'm like,
Shocked, right?
really? And
I
people,
was too.
yeah, but that just goes to show you, Michael Cole is passionate about the pro wrestling business,
Bro.
but again, he was told what to say. He was
Yeah.
fed lines from from Vince, and that's how Vince ran it. You know what I mean? But it's been a
Yeah.
very, very. But they said morale was very high. You know what I mean during this Triple H era. Now again, they're saying that getting to fast forward now. Obviously Stephanie has stepped down. That came out of nowhere because I know Vince had been wanting to get back in, and basically what it came down to is that he owns 80 or 81% of the shares of the company. So basically, their rights thing contracts for television rights things are up for renewal for 2024 between Fox and
Oh,
NBC.
okay.
And
Yeah.
basically it's like if there's a potential sale or as far as the TV rights, that has to go through me because I own 80% of the shares. So
So you're saying that's why he is coming back, or is it because it seems like
basically
he's coming
what it
back
comes down, I
to
don't want to say he bullied his way back in, but
yeah.
basically what it comes down to is he is now again the chairman of the board. He's the chairman again. He's not the
Yo.
CEO because Nick Khan is now the CEO, but Vince McMahon is a matter of fact he brought back Michelle Wilson and George Barrios, who he fired in 2020 actually, who was under him.
Oh
So because
damn.
I think Nick Khan took George Barrios' place, I think, and I forget who replaced Michelle Wilson, but Vince brought his two back on the board, and I think three people ultimately he ended up letting go off the board. Some people had left. You know what I mean? They decided to leave. So
Yeah.
it's the last 48 to 72 hours has been very,
Eventful.
very insane in the case
Yeah,
of
man.
WWE.
Yeah, I wanted to for everybody, like like you just said, like kind of a big statement, man. Especially somebody who are longtime viewers of wrestling. I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys. I'm learning how to share my screen and stuff. I'm getting up there now.
Yeah,
But we're gonna go ahead and take a look. So this is Stephanie McMahon's resignation letter, man. Like, and like you just said, Derek, like I grew up watching, the Attitude Era was one of my biggest, but I grew up since like Hulk Hogan and all them back in the day, 80s wrestling. Um, but when I read this, she did acknowledge like everything, like you said. She sat there and said at the beginning, like, 8 months ago, I took a leave of absence, within a few weeks. And it's interesting, like all the kind of events that occurred right around everything that's happening. So I'm gonna
right.
feed you my thoughts and then you tell me what you think if you match them with me. She made sure she put that at the beginning. Then she sat there and said, okay, blah, blah, took down, came back to take over for my, dad with Nick Khan and everything. And then Vince has returned. And immediately Vince returns. She's stepping out, but not only stepping back out from an absence she was already kind of taking, but she went even further to say, yo, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying? So it
Yeah.
definitely does, just how I'm reading the room with it, it definitely does seem like Stephanie is on some, I don't agree with how things are being ran right now. And I don't want any part of it. I mean, that's what I'm getting from the information. I don't know if like I said, we're always speculating, but it just seems like she doesn't want any part of this shit, bro. How do you feel when you read the letter?
I mean, I was very shocked first off because I mean it was one of the things I did not see coming,
Yeah,
and I was I mean completely side. So I had no idea that was coming,
yeah,
and
me neither.
they had a company employee only meeting on Friday, and it was a rah meeting, and it was everything was cool. They were assuring that everything is the same. Triple H is the COO of a content creator. Nick Khan, and Stephanie were, the co-CEO. Everything was great. Nick, I'm not to Nick. Vince was just back to oversee any potential sale or as far as the TV rights deals that as far as being extended and things of that nature. That's why he said he wanted to come back. But the thing was, he initially wanted to come back in his old capacity. He
Oh, I
because
bet.
he sent out a letter, I think, on December 20th to the board, and he wanted basically said, "Hey, I want back in," because he felt as though that he took bad advice about leaving to begin with, about retiring.
Listen,
The entire board, which included Stephanie, Nick, and Triple H, said absolutely not.
yeah, because of other reasons that we're talking just now. It's a publicly traded company. Just imagine, just to try to put it into perspective for people who need it. You know what I mean? Like, just imagine if Harvey Weinstein, jumped back in. I mean, I don't know what the hell the allegations were of the women and stuff he was doing. Just imagine Harvey Weinstein jump back into the movie scene, bro. Like, just imagine Bill Cosby jump back into the. I mean, I'm just saying, like, you know what I'm saying? That's the kind of image that's being portrayed, no matter what. Like, oh, you can't match this. It's not the same, whatever. But on a big platform like WWE, huge, Saudi Arabia, you got all this stuff, all these eyes on you. And then the head of this corporation that's been the head of the corporation, the face of the company for years, since the beginning, like damn near, comes in with these scandals, and not even like time has really passed. we couldn't even remember if it was like 6 months or not. I was like, it was really like not that long ago. And already he's jumping back in after everybody kind of allowed him to bow out gracefully. Like, oh, we knew you was doing some shit. Just go ahead and exit. Thank you, Vince, and be out.
But
But
here's the
nah.
thing, when you're him, think about this for a second. When you lived in a bubble and all you live is
Yeah,
WWE from the time you took over the company, he can't function in the real world.
no, I don't think so either. He's never took like a vacation, or they say he
I'm
doesn't
sure he's
vacation.
taken some, but I mean, like for the most part, that's all.
Yeah,
You're living in a bubble. Think about it. When you live in a bubble and
yeah,
nothing else, you're kind of like blinders to the world. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, man.
Like there's nothing else. So I mean, I don't think he could function
Yeah,
in
I don't think
the
so either,
real
man.
world.
I think he's also one of them type of I think he's just a man of power. I think power is all he knows. I mean, we've heard stories of, there being, meetings all damn day, and he'll go and order his food. I don't know how, like I said, it is hearsay, but he'll order his food and eat his damn steak sandwich in front of everybody, and everybody be sitting in there on the damn meeting, and he the only one in there eating and shit. Stuff like that is power moves, man. And I mean, in all areas, not just even wrestling, but that's power moves, man. Like you said, definitely a bubble, definitely a place of importance, his whole life. And it's like, as soon as he steps away from his creation, somebody posted today, when he did the damn, remember when he had brought the NWO to WWF and everything or
Or
whatever?
injected with lethal poison. How prophetic was that, huh?
Bro, it's like, damn, like super accurate at this point right now. Because it seems like he is one of them type of guys. Like, yo, I'm gonna go down with this ship. If I can't go down with this ship, I'm taking it down with me or whatever. Like,
Listen,
he,
Nino Brown. Listen, Nino Brown said it best. He's like, "Hey, look, Kareem Motbar, the educated brother from the bank. He's the head of the whole thing. If I'm going down, I'm bringing a whole lot of people down with
I'm
me."
trying to
And
tell
that's
you,
just like,
bro.
yeah, I think it's almost like the bitter X syndrome. Well, Nobody can have you. If I can't have you, nobody can.
And all the the talk, because it hasn't been quiet. Everybody's been saying like, yo, since Triple H took it over and blah blah blah, it's been great. Look, wrestling is good again. And not gonna lie, it has been, man. All the shit with everybody, every 5 minutes, people's names was changing to one name. Listen, bro, it was just getting ridiculous, man. And you kept hearing the stories of behind the scenes, and people were getting fed up because there was no direction. It was like things were changing at the drop of a dime. Nobody can get like used to it. That's why Sasha Banks and them walked out and everything.
Yeah, that was
But
wild.
yeah, man, wasn't that crazy? They were like, two of the biggest names in the women's division, one of the longest divas that they had, or wrestlers they had. And Sasha Banks, she's one of the biggest names. I was having a conversation on the last one where we were talking about who's the next Cena, who's the next this or whatever. And the first thing you think about is, all right, Roman Reigns. Yeah, Roman Reigns is definitely, one of the top of all time. He's definitely great. But is everybody seeing Roman Reigns like they seeing Cena? Can you go say Roman Reigns to somebody in the street that don't even watch wrestling and they know him? Nah, man. But
No,
can you
and this is no knock on Roman. I just think
at all? Yeah,
he wasn't put in that position.
yeah,
You know what I mean? To do Cena things. I think because
yeah.
also you got to remember is that they don't want anyone being bigger than the brand anymore.
That's true too. Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because it's like because think about it, like when I was growing up, it was Hulk Hogan.
Hulk
Hogan
Hogan,
was the guy. You know what
biggest
I mean?
name.
And then you had second fiddle, you had Macho Man, you had Ultimate Warrior, all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Then of course, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels was basically the two in the early to mid 90s, right?
Yep, yep,
And then of
yep,
course, late 90s, you had Stone Cold and The Rock.
yep.
Those were the two main guys. And then after that, it kind of went to a dip a little while, and Cena ended up rising above it because
Everybody, yeah.
the five guys from OVW in hierarchy: Brock, Batista, Randy, Shelton, then Cena. That was
Damn,
the hierarchy.
Shelton. I wouldn't have said Shelton. It's crazy to think of Shelton because Shelton is one of the most phenomenal talents that's ever stepped in that damn ring, bro.
100%.
He is
100%. He is
super slept on, man.
legit badass. First off,
Yeah.
he is legit. Listen, he was Brock's coach in college when
That was crazy. That was so damn crazy, yo. Yeah, yo, Shelton Benjamin is. I mean, I'm surprised that they haven't taken his character. I mean, I don't know the behind the scenes stuff or whatever, but I'm surprised they haven't taken his character and just morphed him into some dominant kind of. I think that they should push Lashley to the side and just have Shelton be on some. I've been here the longest.
no. If you've been
Listen,
paying
bro.
if you've been paying attention to Raw, let's
Yeah.
just say some business,
Oh yeah.
hurting business, might be on
On
the
his way
horizon.
back. Yeah, that's something I don't think should ever have. What sucks though? We just had Raw and stuff like that, and they just had the tag team, the turmoil thing or
Turmoil.
whatever. I don't know why they let them lose, yo. I think that they should have held them for that big
Also,
like breakthrough.
because right now the Judgment Day is hot right now
Yeah.
because think about it. Dominic Mysterio is the star of the Judgment Day right now.
Yo, listen, we're gonna talk about actually. Hey, listen, I'm glad you brought that up real quick. We're gonna Beeline, we're gonna do something here. Me and Derek gonna do it. We have some time, we're gonna try to do it. I got a new game I'm trying to play. It's called What Would You Do? So we're gonna play it. I'm gonna get graphics together for it soon, but I'm gonna try to do it every thing. And it's gonna be basically we're gonna kind of discuss a couple names, and it's gonna be would you push them, would you let them go, or would you just let them stay the same? And we'll do that. Dominic Mysterio is like number one on that list, so I do want to talk about that later.
Right.
But yeah, Dominic Mysterio, he is interesting, and you are right. He is like the one that's being. I think Rhea Ripley is the whole group. I'm not gonna lie to you.
She keeps I think she kind of keeps the group together. It's almost like China when she was with DX.
DX, yeah.
It's like she was the one that kind of did this with the group. But as far as who's shining right now, it's Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, they're definitely giving him something that's a reason to talk about him with the whole jail thing. You got the teardrop.
Listen, and I couldn't stop laughing. Corey Graves on commentary Monday night was
You heard him, right?
comedy gold. He was like, "Hey man, he's gonna shank you."
Yo, he was referencing because everybody was talking about the Office when they was doing Prison Mike. He referenced all of that. He said he was saying exactly how they were saying it too. But that's It's good. Like I think Judgment Day is actually pretty good, man. I mean I've always liked Finn Balor. I've always liked Rhea, but I do like Damian. I think Damian Priest is going to be one of them guys that hopefully he gets a chance to really kind of come out and really start doing some things, whether it be tag titles, I'm interested to see what happens with them and the Usos, man. I'm very interested in that right there.
But I was listening to Busted Open Radio yesterday. Shout out to Dave LaGreca, Bully Ray, Tommy Dreamer, Mark Henry, Mickey James, and Thunder Rosa. And Gabby Laspiza as well. They're on every day from 9 to 12 on Sirius XM Fight Nation channel 156. And
Beautiful.
what we were talking about yesterday was when they were talking about next week's Raw is they're 2 heel tag teams.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
And it's like it's weird because when you have 2 baby faces, I think it's easy to kind of see who you're going to root for. It's going to be 50-50 split as far as cheering, right?
Yeah.
But with 2 heel teams, it's a little bit difficult. But I think the common denominator is going to be Sami Zayn and the Bloodline, and I think the Bloodline is going to probably end up getting cheered.
I think for a minute, people are already like the Bloodline's already over, like beyond over. Like I saw them heading towards face turn. Right before they kind of started, coming on Raw and kind of like attacking everybody real quick and stuff like that or whatever. At Roman's orders, the whole Roman Reigns and Sami Zayn thing, which they are just building for somebody to turn on whoever. I definitely think it's going to be them turning on Sammy. I don't know.
What's going to happen? The beatdown is going to be legendary.
Yeah. I hope so. I hope it's like one of the worst you've ever seen.
And remember, Elimination Chamber is taking place in February in Montreal. So I can only imagine.
Damn.
That might be Sami Zayn versus Roman for the title. You know what I mean? It's
Didn't think of that. Yeah, I didn't think of that. But but it's definitely been interesting. I thought that people are already ready to cheer for the Usos and them, man, because you love them. I mean, the dudes they're the best thing to watch on wrestling right now. I say across the board.
And the fact that Jey Uso can't keep a straight face
at all, to save his ass, right?
So many times, man.
He cracking, but it all made for real good TV, man. Everybody. So I remember, Derek, shout to you too, bro, because when we were doing our Royal Rumble cover, the first time you came on the show, the second time you came on the show, we were doing the Royal Rumble cover, and we were having the discussion about Roman Reigns, and I was like, I want him to drop him on this or whatever, and I remember you said, I want Roman to have some legendary long reign. And you called that shit, bro, because he definitely has. Especially in our time period. Like Bruno Sammartino was the only person you thinking who held the shit. Bob Backlund, like nobody in our time.
The longest right now is Bruno, Bob Backlund, Hulk Hogan, Pedro Morales.
That's right, yeah.
Roman Reigns.
Yeah, Roman's on the top 5 now. I mean, where do you think it's going, bro? You think we doing another year of Roman with the titles?
No, I think the grandson of a plumber, if you will, is gonna come into play. I think Cody.
Listen, I gotta believe you.
Yeah, Cody. Because again, Cody wasn't with the company when we did the Royal Rumble show last year. So I think now,
right.
and his those vignettes they're running almost reminds me of Triple H's when he was recovering from that quad injury.
Yeah.
And it was leading up to his return at Raw. So I think this is leading up to Cody's return at the Royal Rumble for him to be ready. You know what I
mean? Cody came in, and you got to also remember that he came in and they pulled a lot for him to come in. I know he had a nice payday, and he kind of had like his own terms kind of deal or whatever, from what I've heard. So that they have to take him seriously. It's not like they can backburner him. It's not like they can put him up against Seth 4 more times. Like, they have to do something with him. He's a high commodity asset to the company at this point. I'm fully not in agreement of him taking that belt from Roman, bro. I'm gonna be dead ass real. Not that I want to see Roman hold it. I just feel like Roman has taken out pretty much everybody in the damn industry except Seth. Like I keep saying, except Seth. He fought Seth, but he has not taken out Seth yet that I've seen.
Right.
But I feel like I feel like damn, I was about to call him Dusty. I got Dusty stuck in my head. I feel like Cody is great to come in. I'm gonna be real. I don't even want Cody to win the Rumble, yo. I don't even want Cody to win the Rumble. And I love Cody. I'm not even like hating on him. I feel like he needs to come in and do something first to kind of earn that spot, even though he did
Well,
do a good job.
but
But
think
I don't know.
about
I
this.
just
But think about it for a second. He beat Seth in what 3 matches?
yeah.
And again, the Royal Rumble is it's a way for you to get into the title picture.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that's like if they got me off the street and they said, "Hey, Derek, go put your gear on. You're gonna win the Royal Rumble tonight." You know what I mean? But in Cody's case, hey, anybody can win the Royal Rumble, so that
Yeah.
gets him the title shot. I'm thinking this will be a nice way to split the titles again and have Roman still as the Universal Champion, so that reign is grandfathered back to 2021 or
Mm.
2020. I'm sorry, my bad. And him keep the Universal title. So I think that'll be great if they can if they can work something out. Say, hey, I'm not putting both these titles on the line at WrestleMania. I'm only going to put one title, and it's going to be the WWE Championship. So in
Yeah.
that way, Roman keeps the Universal title and be exclusive to SmackDown, and Cody could be the WWE champion exclusive to Raw. So now you have your babyface champion and you got your heel champion.
That would be a definitely a good I mean, that would be good booking. I feel like that they're gonna take those titles and unify them, man. I don't think they're gonna split them back up. I mean, I don't know. I see it going easier because at this point you got to think of it like this as well. If somebody does beat Roman for one of those titles, or the Usos at this point, they've been on these long streaks of winning. They've been unstoppable. If somebody beats them, that's the end of that mark. So even if they do get beat for one title, now they're still champions, but they lost their streak. So it's like it's diminished. You know what I mean? It's not like it'll
No,
be
remember,
different.
if they put up the title that they had less time, that ones they had before will be grandfathered still.
Okay, I got you. I
I'm
got you. So
saying.
you mean like the
But
newer one? Yeah,
Roman, but I think remember because the Usos were the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and Riddle and Randy were the
Randy.
Raw
Yeah,
Tag Team Champions, and that's how they unified the titles. My
yeah,
thing is, if the Usos were to drop a title, it should be the Raw Tag Team titles, so they could
yeah,
be exclusive to SmackDown, and they'll still continue that run, that reign of
yeah.
being tag team champions.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's gonna be more and more interesting, with all the current events and everything like that to see what happens and see where, the direction is going. I really, really hope that they don't
Yeah.
doing some, craziness or whatever. I definitely think I agreed. I saw somebody had said they commented when Stephanie's situation was going down. I think Stephanie McMahon deserves a send-off, man, because you forget, when she did that whole time, in the Attitude Era, the late 90s and stuff like that, even with the DX run where it was her with Triple H, the McMahon Helmsley era. Yo, Stephanie McMahon was a character, bro. Even further when they, split the brands and she was running SmackDown and Bischoff was on Raw. And
Yeah.
Stephanie McMahon is a legend in the industry, yo. I think that she definitely should get some kind of like, true send off if she is, gone from the company. If she wants it, you know what I'm saying? Like,
When
I,
I was
I don't just
young,
see her walking.
when I was young, I remember when Stephanie McMahon was a child model for the WWF magazine merchandise section. That she had on a Rockers T-shirt with a headband. She had the Hulkamania hat on, so she
Crazy,
paid
man.
her dues.
Yeah, she beyond. Yeah, the daughter of the daughter of the owner. I mean, yeah, you definitely have to. You have to expect it. Shane. You don't see Shane nowhere near around any of this stuff or whatever. I don't know. I don't think Shane yet. But something also tells me like who knows what Shane knows as well. Like who knows what information they know, how pissed they are about what happened with their moms and stuff like that, and how much they knew what came out. Like I don't know. It's just
That's a
it's
lot.
interesting, bro. It's
A
it's
lot.
definitely a lot. It's definitely a lot. But yeah, man, I just wanted to kind of jump on and talk about like everything that's been going on. Recently, they had the whole thing. This was the other big page turner of the book and shit, talking about the whole Saudi Arabia thing, man. What did you think about that when you were hearing all that information?
I mean, it further came out today that that is not the case.
Yeah,
Ariel Hawani broke that today that he spoke with somebody, and that is not Saudi Arabia is not like right now. Like they're entertaining, possibilities of a sale, but in regards to a sale happening last night,
Didn't happen.
didn't happen.
Yep.
And Ariel Hawani, and it was basically a wrestling journalist that was on Reddit that put it out there, and it just like caused wildfire last night. Like Twitter was like a cesspool. Twitter's already a
I
cesspool
know.
to begin with.
Yeah.
It just turned into a
Sorry,
dump.
Twitter. Sorry.
Like I mean, literally everyone was like, "Oh, like really?"
Yeah, me
Wait, man.
too.
And it's like at this point, we just gotta wait and see what happens. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah. Nobody got the answers,
my
man.
thoughts are with the wrestlers, and every wrestler that's there, and I hope that everybody, hope that this doesn't affect them in any way, shape, or form, and I just hope that it's business as usual. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it's like, dang man, it's like it's such a dark cloud because it's like they were doing so good, and I was giving Hunter like 18 months to really mold it into his, because obviously
Yeah.
when changing in creative, especially in the wrestling space, you have to train the fan to think differently, react
Yeah.
differently. Even at live events, fans are so used to just sitting on their hands for 3 hours because the television wasn't really that great. But
Yeah.
now
For
it's like
real.
there's more stuff that's happening, and you're really training the fan to react and all these other things. And
Exactly.
that so it's I was giving Hassan, man, give that man 18 months. And
Yeah.
I said,
Yep.
if he does anything quicker, obviously he's good at what he does. But
Yeah.
in
One of the
developing
greatest.
right and changing the perception of wrestlers to fans, because I didn't like the fact that they changed LA Knight to Max Dupree. I
That
didn't
shit
like
was
that.
Yo, talking about that, like just off the strength of I wasn't like a huge knowing who LA Knight really was. I didn't really even know even further back his backstory
Oh,
until I heard he was
Eli Drake, yeah.
yeah, he is freaking phenomenal, man. He is phenomenal, yo.
Let
I
me
was just
talk
gonna
to
ask
you.
you.
Yeah.
Bro, listen, yo. It's like he captivates you immediately.
Oh yeah.
I've had shows with people, and people have literally said, and I don't fully agree here, but I see what they mean, that they see him being like the next kind of Rock, like the Rock. How you feel? Like, would you
I
put him in
mean,
that same?
it's a bit. There's similarities in regards to the delivery of the promo, in
Yeah.
regards to being the superstar that there could never ever be another Rock.
I
There
don't even
could
think
there could be
I
another,
think the I think that the promo is very similar, like you said,
yeah,
but I don't even think that the like you just said, you were saying it. There can't be another. The energy of the Rock's
right.
delivery, you can't match that shit, bro. Like I haven't seen
Right,
anybody yet.
right, and that's why I'm like, let him be the first LA Knight, and
Yeah,
that's one thing I learned in being not only in just with show business but in the pro wrestling business, is that listen, don't be a carbon copy of anybody else. Could you steal?
yeah,
A wrestler's going to steal some. Everybody steals from somebody,
yeah,
but
yeah,
still make it your own. You
yeah.
know,
So it's only so much you could do. Like
right? And I think LA Knight's doing an awesome job and making it his own.
bro. I think he's phenomenal, man. I heard somebody say the other day, and I fully agree with this. I love Bray Wyatt. I think the Bray Wyatt gimmick, Bray Wyatt keeps giving you stuff to look out for. I am a person who says the shit's taking really long. I mean, you got to be patient with it.
Gotta remember storylines back in the day.
Yeah.
One time, I was at Extreme Rules when he returned. I was there.
Oh, you were.
I was there in the crowd, and
Yeah.
you want to talk about pandemonium?
I bet, man. I
All
bet.
of his old characters popping up in the crowd, and everyone chanting "Holy bleep, holy!" It was
Yeah.
like it was loud. That
I
wasn't
bet,
piped in
man.
noise, by the way. That I was there. That wasn't piped in. Fans were just like losing their minds.
Yeah, man, that was incredible. I mean, when
Absolutely.
I heard Bray Wyatt was coming back, because I still think Bray Wyatt's characters was probably the best character, in my opinion, since like the Undertaker and like the real characters of this stuff. Like John Cena is John Cena, you know what I'm saying? Randy Orton's Randy Orton, but who can you think of that was an actual character outside of like Undertaker, Kane,
I
and
mean,
they had a couple Boogeyman, but who else was hitting it? Like even when it was the Wyatt family, that whole gimmick, like everything about it, it was creepy, it was eerie. Every time you saw him, you knew it was gonna, your eyes were gonna, you were gonna pay attention, you were gonna be glued to the screen, coming out with the light. Like everything about it was just, the delivery
Just,
was
just,
impactful, yo.
just the cryptic stuff they were doing at house shows with playing White Rabbit by
For
Jefferson
real.
Lane, and they would
Yeah.
turn off the lights, and it'll just be a red light, and they'll be playing White Rabbit,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was
We saw one when we went to a SmackDown, and I'm pretty sure, I think we saw one right before he was coming back. We saw one of the White Rabbit videos. But yeah, yeah. I mean, all of that stuff was just like you said. I am kind of impatient. I still think it's amazing. Like, I no, I'm not taking anything away, but I'm ready to see, like, where's it going. You know, you see all the things with Alexa Bliss, you see all the things, even with Liv Morgan. People were forgetting that, you know, they was playing it with Liv Morgan too a little bit. You know, I personally think that when it does kind of filter all together, there's going to be like a group of them, and it's going to be like, you know, something. And I definitely think that they're going to go up against the Bloodline. I think it's going to be after the Bloodline loses the titles, and that's going to be the next big thing they do, is take on Bray Wyatt's crew.
But think about this for a second. When they were doing, oh God, I'm trying to think now.
You a machine, bro. You be remembering shit.
No, I'm
Derek
just
be
trying.
remembering shit from years.
No, what I was gonna say is that with as far as with Bray Wyatt's concerned, remember, guess what I want to say. Remember when he was doing the Firefly Funhouse in 2019, when he was
Yep.
doing it every week, and he said next week, I got a dark secret, and that's when after that he started telling his story, and it kept getting darker, and that's when he turned into the Fiend.
The thing,
I'm
yeah.
like, holy! I was like,
Yo,
whoa!
wasn't it Captain? Because when, remember, like you're saying right now, when Firefly Funhouse first started, you were watching that shit and you were like, "What the hell is this?" And that's the intent, though, because you know he was saying, like, people
There
are not
was a
gonna,
lot
they're
of
not gonna even know.
it was some dark undertones on it though in the
Yeah, it was.
house.
But it was still like really goofy, and you were like, okay, this guy has lost his damn mind. Like, is he trying to sell some Mr. Rogers shit? Like you said, it was like some small hints of like, wait a minute, this is not going to be what you think it
He
is.
literally turned it, and I was like, "Oh
That
man!"
shit was, yo, the
And
Fiend was
when he showed
incredible,
up in
bro.
the arena and attacked Finn Balor, oh my
Yes.
god!
Yeah, man, that was some of the best shit. I mean, everybody was waiting for it. Everybody was watching wrestling, waiting for the Fiend to arrive. That's why SmackDown, it was like, nope, we need him on Fox. Like, we don't want him anywhere else. And now that he's back and he's taking his time, but I was saying all that, I got wrapped up in Bray Wyatt. People were saying that, you know, the Bray Wyatt stuff is phenomenal, of course, but people have been more interested in LA Knight's role that he's playing, because he's doing it so damn well, bro.
He is.
Like, yeah, you know, he's somebody to watch, man. This is how far I'll go with it. Like I just said about my boy Cody and shit. Cody's definitely a self-made dude. He's gonna make it regardless. You know, if a person like LA Knight won the Rumble, and they use that kind of build to just make him on some next level, I would not be mad, bro. I would not be mad. I
I
think
don't
that,
think that's going to be because there's
yeah,
too much invested right now with the storyline with Bray. So
yeah,
that this is like they haven't even scratched the surface yet. So I don't think a Rumble win is going to make sense right now. I think right
yeah,
now he's not in that. He hasn't been positioned. Like it's almost like putting. Even if they did, as much as I love Karrion Cross, that's not a good thing for him right now. He's not ready for that
bro.
right now. He still
I
earn. He still has to earn equity. He
Yeah,
hasn't.
yeah, yeah. I think Killer Cross is definitely a good character. I think that they haven't, I don't know if they just haven't found a position for him, or just like where it can work in what he's doing, because he really hasn't had any, like, you know, mindful things besides like even the Drew McIntyre stuff was like, it was just happening. It wasn't really like a meaningful
Nah,
thing.
not
You know what
really.
I mean? Right? It really wasn't really anything there. But you know, you have Austin Theory. Austin Theory is definitely phenomenal. I think that he's in the route that they're taking him now, a little bit more serious. I think that if he stays on this asshole routine and just continues it for a while, I think the crowd is going to slowly kind of start just turning into fans of him. That's
This
usually what
was
happens with good heels.
this what he was doing in Evolve. That's how he got signed. This is the
Okay.
Austin. Like this is nothing new. Like
Yeah.
Austin Theory he was that dude.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I have somebody else who comes on. He was supposed to come on Well, he might have came on tonight or whatever. This guy, Mr. Warren Marlowe, he's a indie wrestler, and he actually knew Austin Theory in the Indies, and he was saying like one of the things about Austin, like when he was in the Indies, is he was always like really happy to be wrestling and stuff like that and everything, like trying to like always kind of like the babyface role. So he said he was surprised when he saw Austin was like playing the heel so well and stuff like that.
He was cutting,
But
and he was cutting promo. He was cutting some really good promos
yeah,
in Evolve. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They were getting a lot of guys from Evolve, like Drew Gulak, I believe, was in Evolve. And
that's another slept on. He's good,
yeah,
man. He's really
agreed,
good.
agreed.
Yeah. There's a couple of shiners in there, bro. But I do feel like, you know, like we were talking about earlier, like who's the next Cena? Who's the next person? You're always gonna be, like you said, you're always gonna be, the whatever, but you just mean that caliber of like, I'd say this person's name, I could be anywhere, in a bar, whatever, restaurant. It's John Cena. You gonna look around, John Cena. Oh, I know him. You know what I'm saying? But if
Right,
you say not just because the movies either, but I'm talking about even before he got in the movies, you
for
said
sure.
John Cena, you knew him. But if you say like the next caliber of star, definitely you say Charlotte Flair, you say, the women wrestlers. Those are the ones who have been kind of shining real hard, from the Becky Lynches to the Bailey, Sasha Banks. You say Sasha Banks' name, a lot of people will know. Oh, yes, yeah. Nikki Bella, Brie Bella. Like it's interesting the transition, but it's also questioning who's next to fit that dominant role of I'm turning on wrestling because I gotta see this guy. You know what I mean? And I think that taking guys like LA Knight, guys like, Austin Theory, even, and building these guys into these amazing stories. Bray Wyatt, of course, but Bray Wyatt is more like an
Right,
Undertaker character. You know what I mean? Like he's
right.
gonna be somebody who's, if he's loyal, if he stays with the program, he stays in there for a while, even if he just keeps doing what he's doing now, he's gonna be somebody who's gonna build, and you're gonna remember Bray Wyatt forever just because of what he's doing.
But that's why I said I'm giving Hunter 18 months to do
Yeah.
and really build, because again, you're not going to be able to do that overnight.
No, hell no. Not, especially after somebody who had it for, decades has been like, running this the way he's been running it and stuff like that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. But Hunter has been done an amazing job in his time. Nick Khan, whoever else was doing it, Hunter gets all the credit.
For sure.
Um, whoever's doing it. Hopefully we're all saying the same thing with this whole Vince McMahon thing. I'm pretty sure everybody's just hoping that it stays good and good, because your wrestling has been phenomenal recently, bro. Since SummerSlam, since
Very
even
good.
before that, it's
It's been
been
very, very
real good, bro. I've been watching every single week, and there were times before, like I said, when they started changing everybody's names every 5 minutes. This person was Riddle, Matt Riddle, now it's Riddle, Austin Theory, now it's Theory. I'm like, bro, come on, bro. Y'all are doing the most.
the
You can't
problem
even invest in
is,
somebody and
well,
shit.
the problem is that it was the Vince control thing, because of Stone Cold Steve Austin. I can't have another Austin on here. You know what I mean? And it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah, he definitely wants all the control. So Vince, I love you for entertaining me for years, but listen, bro, let other people do the shit now, because we got to do whatever, man. The shit was going really good, man. Don't come in here and jack stuff up. All right, hey, I ain't gonna hold you too much today. I know you got some you're a busy man. Yo, Mr. Derek T. Lewis, guys, if you haven't, just letting you know. I'm trying to have you on. Like I said, whenever I'm doing these, I'm gonna hit you up. If you're available,
Yeah,
please come on. We're gonna do a Royal Rumble cover. We want to do a predictions. I want to do a prediction with you once we find out a little bit more who's going to be on the card. We know a couple
sure,
matches now,
for sure.
but yeah, we're gonna do a couple more of these. But let's try this what would you do thing. All right. So this is gonna be a new game, guys. I'm gonna put it together. We'll have it a lot more together next time we play. But what would you do? All right. I'm gonna start off because you said it, but I'm gonna start off. Dominic Mysterio. What would you do? Here's your options. You're gonna say, we're gonna let him go. Let him go and just deal with him another time. We're gonna push him to the moon. We're gonna push him. We're gonna get him out there, get him to a different caliber or whatever. Or you're gonna let him just stay on the track that he is. I would personally say, stay on the track where he at. I think that they're doing a really good job with him. This is what I think about Dominic Mysterio. I don't know why. I feel like he's good. He's good at talking and stuff like that. He's a little interesting. He's kind of like the puny pipsqueak kind of dude, but he can wrestle, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Raised the son, he got a backstory. I think that they should take Dominic, especially since he's in Judgment Day, and put a mask on him. And with the mask, not like a Rey Mysterio, it could be like a luchador mask, whatever, but I think it should be like a whether it be not, maybe not Kane like, but just a mask that's like it speaks for itself, kind of. um, and let him be the silent kind of, just really good brawl it kind of luchador guy, taking out his dad and just giving him a lot of attitude, but less mouth. And he's like, take it more seriously. That's how I feel about Dominic, yo. I feel like that if he put a mask on, just that simple change, I think a big piece of that's Rey Mysterio's son will be taken away, and they'll be like, "Who is this guy? What's this? What's all the?" You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of how I feel. How you feel about Dom?
I'm with you on the staying on the track thing, but I will respectfully disagree on in this regard.
Gotcha.
Putting a mask on him, number one, it's all about this, right?
Yeah,
Vince says it a lot. It's all about this.
looking
Now
in the
Ray
face.
is a different case because obviously he's grandfathered in with that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
But Dominic is trying to be his own man. Dominic is trying to be his own thing. So he doesn't want to have, you know what I mean? He doesn't want to have to pattern himself after maybe after that wearing a mask.
yeah,
He doesn't
yeah,
need
for
to.
sure.
And I think the work that he's doing now as an ex-convict, I think it's comedy gold. And you
Yeah, I
really
think
get to
it's
see his
funny.
facial expression, you get to see his facial expressions. You really get to see him be an arrogant, that young 25-year-old prick that just
Yeah,
better
yeah,
than everybody. You know what I mean? So I think doing the stuff like the fact that he said the reason why he beat up his father on Thanksgiving, he was like, because he had a Christmas tree up. I
yeah, 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 yeah,
was like, you asshole. But
yeah, yeah. He's
it
playing a
worked.
dick. He's playing a dick for sure. He's playing a dick for sure. Yeah, you're right about that. But Dominic, okay, stay. So we both agreed he stays the same. Yeah, I mean, I definitely a good point. Yeah, definitely a very good point. I do like it. Now let's jump on to another one here. Here's an interesting one. We were just talking about him as well. Braun Strowman. Um, I'll let you go first for this one, and then see what you think. So Braun Strowman, are we going to let him go? We're going to push him, or are we going to let him stay where he's going right now?
I still say keep him where he's at right now, and because
Yeah,
remember he was gone for over a year,
yeah,
and I think you need to rebuild him, rebuild. Because remember, think about it, a year, a lot can happen in a year. It
yeah,
was almost like out of sight, out of mind. So you have to retrain the fan of knowing who Braun Strowman is. You have to retrain the fan as far as his feats of strength and all these other things. But I still think that let's take him on a journey and do that.
yeah, yeah. I'm torn between Braun, yo, because when Braun first came out, on the scene or whatever, not that whole rosebud thing with him being the big giant goofy guy with the costume on or whatever. But when I first saw him and he started coming out with the Wyatt family and stuff
Mhm.
like that, it was interesting. It was like, it was one of those positions where it was like, who's this big dude? Like he was one of them big guys that you just couldn't take
Right.
down. But then he came on and he started showing a little bit more athleticism, and he was like, moving in the ring. That match that he had with the Big Show, I think that was one of his best matches, bro. The cage match for sure. But when him and Big, I mean, he was showing feats like, and it was even more interesting to me because the Big Show was in there, just reminding you another big guy, and then Big Show was older at this point. But you saw like this guy as big as the Big Show flying with freaking, missile drop kicks and shit. I'm like, this guy's showing off a little bit.
But let's
And
not forget when he was the Giant in WCW, he was
yeah.
doing some stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Big Show definitely paid his dues. Yeah, he's definitely was yeah, I was actually watching a match with him with the singlet when he was younger, smaller,
Yeah,
long hair. Yeah,
the
Big Show
Giant.
used to be holding it down. But Braun, it's hard, man. I would say let him stay where he is. I don't want any. Well, I guess there's not anybody, but I don't want anybody really to get let go or anything. Not for jobs and money wise or whatever. I'm just talking about like let him go. I don't want to see him on TV or whatever anymore. I'm not interested in it. But Braun Strowman, let him stay wherever he is. See what's happening. He's got that match with Gunther. I don't think he's gonna win that match. I think that he's a worthy opponent. Gunther definitely. I mean, Sheamus was that was, you know, that's one of the best matches that I've seen. That I'm be honest, I wasn't like a huge fan. I was just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna see this or whatever. But that match was phenomenal, man. Him
Yeah,
and
that was
Sheamus.
hard hitting.
Whoo, that was good. But it's like,
Indeed.
seeing Braun be a big guy because Gunther was fighting Ray, he was fighting Ricochet. He
Mhm.
definitely earned, but he was fighting smaller guys, and Gunther's like a bigger dude, more tough. So seeing Braun take him is going to be interesting. Even though I didn't like the shit with Braun and Omos, I thought that was going to be better than what it was. It was kind of boring.
Right.
Um, it's going to. I mean, I just don't know what Braun can do. He doesn't. He's not that good on the mic to me. Um, he relies a lot on his size, and that's why I'm like, if he was, this sounds bad.
Relying on his size, that's okay.
Yeah, but you also gotta have character though, man. It's like I don't know, bro. It's just you know what it's like. We see these guys so much, man. It's like you're a big dude. That's cool, but how many big dudes are there? We just literally said like you got your Braun, you got your Omos, you got Big Show. Like you also got to stand out though. You can't just be a big muscle dude with a shirt off and a bald head and shit yelling. Like what else are you doing, bro? Like you know what I'm saying? Like, you had matches with Roman Reigns. You've done some stuff. Is it time to put Braun in a suit? Is it time to get him into a different kind of position, make him a bodyguard? Whatever. I don't know. I
I
just feel like
wouldn't put him, I think he's too big of a star to be a heater.
yeah,
I think when somebody's as you say, a heater, I guess you're the muscle in a sense, and I
got you.
think you do that for a young guy that's coming up, and I think he's beyond that point of being a.
Yeah.
I don't see him being a heater. That's
I
just
loved I loved when they did that shit with Drew and Dolph, yo. I thought that when Drew was playing like the Diesel role with Dolph Ziggler and Dolph was like the Shawn Michaels, I loved that shit.
But here's the thing, but it wasn't. He wasn't really being the muscle. He just happens to be a little bit taller than Dolph, but
Yeah.
they were both in there working their ass off. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, for
But I'm just
sure.
talking about as far as being a bodyguard. That's you have that for somebody for a young guy that's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah, yeah.
for a veteran that's been around the block for 10 years.
Yeah, yeah, you're definitely right. I can definitely see that. But Braun, I'm gonna say keep him. I'm not gonna lie, it's leaning a little bit more on if he did go. I'm not like I said, I'm not just no disrespect for nobody to lose their job or anything like that. I'm just not interested. I'm just not interested in what he's doing right now. We'll see the Gunther match. We'll see what happens. It'd be crazy shit. He wins the Royal Rumble or something. Oh shit, nobody saw that coming.
Right.
But yeah, Braun, yeah, Dom, and I didn't come up with a third one, but who's somebody else that you would say that you're really interested in seeing if they get pushed this year?
Hmm.
You
I
talk
would
about
like
we
no. I
we
would like
talk.
no. I would like to see Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams come up to the main roster.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah. Somebody said he's supposed to. He's probably gonna be one of the ones that pop up in the Royal Rumble. They always got a couple of slots for the NXT guys.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. He's pretty good. I saw a couple of his matches. You know who I love? I love fucking Solo, bro. Yo, he is a beast, man.
He's my favorite member of the Bloodline, by the way.
Bro, he is
He
a
is my
beast, man.
absolute favorite of the member of the Bloodline, only because of the fact that he doesn't. Every member of the Bloodline has their own identity, which is awesome.
Yeah,
He's just a badass. You
that's
know
it.
what I
That's
mean?
it. That's all you need. You know what I mean? Like the silent type too. Like, and I
Uh-huh.
love how he's got that Umaga type feel. Like, some people try to do the persona and they get it, you know what I'm saying, to a degree or whatever, but he literally personifies Umaga. You know what I mean? And it's like Umaga was a bigger, like kind of an animal, but he's like calm, cool, collected.
It's
But I'm
almost
gonna
like Joe. It's almost like
jack you
Samoa
up.
Joe and Umaga, like all in one.
Nice. Yeah, nice comparison. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can see that a lot. Samoa Joe and yeah, I feel like Solo. Damn, I'm thinking crazy now. I'm thinking like I feel like Solo wants on the tip of like, listen, Roman Reigns tried to hit him with some no, you look like some Jimmy Uso or some Jay Uso shit, and Solo's like, what? And then he flips, yo. And then imagine the match between Solo and fucking. Oh man, bro.
Right.
You wouldn't want to see the bloodline split, but I'm telling you right now, I guarantee you that. And then the Usos are tied because they don't know what to do because it's their brother. Yo, that's some shit that's writing itself right now. I'm telling you, that'd
We'll
be
see.
interesting, man. That'd be
Absolutely.
interesting, yo. That'll be something. If Solo took them belts, I would not be mad. If that storyline too, that shit would be
I would
incredible.
rather. I want Solo to get the either U.S. title or something like that right now, or the you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
want
yeah, for sure.
one of those mid card titles right now. That'd be
Yeah,
great.
I can see him going up against Gunther. I can see Imperium going up against him and the Usos and stuff like
So,
that.
yeah.
We'll see what happens with the Judgment Day. I definitely don't think the Judgment Day is going to dethrone what's it called? Who's your call for who's going to dethrone the Usos?
I don't know.
I said previously, and I still kind of think it can happen. I still kind of think it might happen. I think Sammy and Kevin are going to team up and take them
But that's
belts,
what I
yo.
was thinking too. They'll probably do at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
If the Bloodline's gonna drop some belts, do it at WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near outside of
No,
Mania. Yeah,
no.
if they have a match, the thing that sucks is like, well, I guess you don't know because it's been so long. But it's almost like at Mania, if they have a match, somebody's going to lose the title eventually, bro. Like they ain't going to have it the rest of time and shit. But yeah, it would be more shocking if they did it on like a Raw though. You know, that would like, what that would be like the
Nowhere.
biggest talk of the town. You know.
Right.
But it's interesting. Hey, Derek, man, I don't want to hold you up too much longer, bro. Yo, thank you so much for coming on today.
Got it, man.
Always fun talking with you, bro. You always yo, guys, please check him out. He's in movies, everything. Derek, we're gonna put all your information, get you back on the show, get your stuff like that. What's some you got anything new that you got going on now? I saw you in a recent movie you just did recently. It was like drinking or something like that.
No, that was actually a short film that I did a couple years ago, and I was just because they had posted it recently, and I was like, oh, it was just kind of hey, remember this time I played a character that was nice, and I turned into an absolute maniac. So yeah, so that was from a couple of years ago, but
Yeah.
right now, my podcast is coming on the 19th. The D Loop podcast is resurfacing. It's going to be really, really good. I'm going to be interviewing a lot of people in all aspects of sports, entertainment, television, film, you name it. Former athletes, everybody. I'm going to be interviewing recording artists.
That's awesome.
Those would
That's
be
awesome,
cool. It's
bro.
coming on the 19th, and I'm going to be like I said, my ring announcing stuff. So I start back actually this Friday. I'm back up in North Jersey for SWF. Then the following
Beautiful.
Saturday, I'm in the South Jersey for the Monster Factory. So
Yeah.
the rest of
Shout out to Monster Factory. Shout out to Monster Factory. If you guys liking my stuff on on the live. If you guys are doing amazing things. Anybody down there that you've been scouting, you looking like, oh man, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of talent. But anybody that you like, oh man, this guy's gonna be WWE tomorrow, man.
let me tell you something. There are so many of our guys and girls that can get signed tomorrow, and
Yeah.
I'm not capping only because of the fact that I work there. It's
Yeah.
just I've seen the progression over the last 4 years of a lot of these young guys that were starting out a couple of years ago and are just doing this. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Guys like Bobby Buffet, the guys in the Golden Era. You know what I mean? The Kelly twins. Um, it's just so many. It's
Yeah,
so
I
many.
believe it. I mean, so much talent has come from that place. Like
Travis
you
Tritt.
said, you put me on to the Monster Factory. I didn't even know that's from Jersey. Like I'm from Jersey, and I didn't know that so many of those people came, bro. When I saw the damn, they had a poster. I wish I had it pulled up here, but they had a poster of everybody, like you said, that came from there. James, Matt Riddle, all this stuff, and I'm looking like, damn, like it goes all the way back to Bam Bam Bigelow, like. Yeah, legendary, bro. So I'm
Absolutely.
pretty sure they doing something right. They doing something right there. But that's
Absolutely.
beautiful, bro. But Derek, yeah, we're gonna check out your podcast, man. We're gonna check out everything. And guys, definitely check for Derek on with us. It'll be a couple more people maybe next time. I was kind of throwing it together because of all the craziness that happened today. But we love you, WWE. We love you, Vince McMahon. We love everybody. Samoa Solo killing it. But if you love wrestling, it's the place to be. Straight through the ropes, Wrestletalk, man. We're going to be doing it a lot more this year. Can't wait for you guys to see it. But Derek, man, stay true, stay positive. Thank you so much for coming on, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you, man. See you.
No problem, guys.